Hey, and welcome. Today's talking topic is the coronavirus and feeling loved. I'm author and speaker Toria Leigh, and you are watching Toria Talk Tuesday. So, today's talking topic comes from really what I've been struggling with recently. It's personal things that I've been wrestling with. I've talked about before, these Toria Talks are one take. They're not edited because I want them to feel authentic and I want them to feel real, just as if you were talking to me in person. And part of that authenticity comes from sharing with you guys what I'm struggling with, things I've overcome, and just kind of what's going on in my life right now and things I'm feeling and struggling with. And that today is what our topic comes from: feeling loved. So being single with quarantine from the coronavirus, it has stopped me from getting to go to church. It stopped me from getting to hang out with friends, to hang out with our young adults group, things like that. And so I'm not seeing my close, good friends as much as I usually would be. And that's the thing with this coronavirus stopping us from being able to go hug people, being able to be around more people. It can leave some of us feeling lonely, and that loneliness can lead to feeling unloved, right? Because community is great and it's something we should definitely try and stay engaged in, and I am in this time doing the best I can. I'm FaceTiming friends, I'm messaging people, things like that, and doing Zoom calls and all of these good things, but they still don't make up for the in-person connection and that feeling of love it brings with you. Because when you get a hug from someone, when someone's there to encourage you and push you on, there's just this knowing of that I'm loved, right? And with that stripped away, it leaves some of us feeling unloved, right? And that has been something I've really been struggling with throughout quarantine, actually. And I struggle with it actually even out of quarantine, but in quarantine specifically, is this feeling of wanting to be loved, and that typically turns into wanting romantic love, and that's not the fix, right? We are trying to fill a void with other human beings who are imperfect, right? They're gonna let us down. They're not gonna always love us the way we want to be loved. People fail, and that's the problem when we put our desire to be loved, or this feeling of being loved, or knowing that we're loved in people. It doesn't fix the problem. It's going to let us down, because people are human. We're imperfect and we're messy, and no one can love you perfectly the way you want them to. But that's the thing. We are still perfectly loved. We're trying to fill a God-shaped hole with a human being. The desire to be loved is a good thing. It's a desire God placed in our lives, but we're trying to fill it with all the wrong things. We're trying to fill it with people and things and places and our jobs and schools, and that's not what it's meant for. We're meant to find that feeling of love and acceptance in God. I mean, we're coming up on Easter, and God sent his one son to die and be crucified so we could have a relationship with him. That's how much he loves you. He sacrificed his son for you, and that's what I'm really clinging to in quarantine, is that I am perfectly loved by God, that he loves me more in one moment than anyone could in a lifetime, that he desires me, he desires to be in a relationship with me, he wants to talk to me, and that no romantic relationship with a boy or even relationships with friends can fill that void, right? We are looking for acceptance, we're looking for love in all the wrong places, and that's what I encourage you in quarantine. This is what I'm clinging to. I'm not clinging to the fact that I'm around my family. I'm not clinging to the fact that friends miss me. I'm clinging to the fact that I'm loved by the creator of the universe. That's what I'm clinging to, and that is giving me such comfort. It's giving me such peace and such a feeling of being loved. I know I'm loved, and I really encourage you guys, cling to that too. It brings hope, and that is, God is the only one who can fill that void, who can fill that hole inside of you. And that's what I'm learning. Every time I start to feel unloved, I start to think like, wouldn't it be great if I was in a relationship? I stop myself. I'm like, I've used letting that push me towards the wrong thing. This is not a wrong feeling to want to be loved, but what am I letting it push me towards? Am I letting it push me closer towards God? Or am I letting it push me into, wanting things of the world that I think will fill that void, but it's just going to come short in the end? So that's my topic. That's my talk for you guys today, is just really in this hard time, cling to the fact that you're loved and you're wanted, and God looks at you and thinks you're beautiful, and he thinks you're priceless, and really, really cling to that in these hard times. And even outside of quarantine, cling to it too, right? It's still true then. And that's why it works, clinging to the fact that God loves you, because he loves you the same yesterday, today, and forever. And humans aren't like that, right? We're fickle, or we just drop the ball sometimes. God doesn't ever. He loves you day in and day out, and it's never going to change. And that's why inside quarantine, outside of quarantine, before quarantine, all of it, he loved you then, he loves you still, and he always will. So cling to that as you struggle with, as we wrestle with this new change of, being alone and being in quarantine, thanks to the coronavirus. So if you guys found this encouraging, go ahead and share it or tag a friend in it and just say, hey, I want you to know you're loved. So that's my challenge for you guys. Tag someone in the comments below and say you're loved. So thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you guys next week.